We made several sparring clips, including the one that was posted, and it turned out that Shaq had messed up several of them. And even though he said he knew how to use an iPhone, showing they were drunk, between that and the exchange with the interview, you can tell by my tone, my speech patterns, that I wasn't sharp and on point. And so, using the transferable skills in different stages of mind, um, different levels of wind, because I gave demonstrations to them before the sparring match as well, which also wore me down a bit. Um, and I also had been training earlier in the day and working. I already worked out early in the morning, so I kind of had been drinking after working out. Yes, so you just explain the situation. It was a good clip. It was some Bruce Lee shit. He was a good fighter, good spar and everything. These are transferable skills from combat to sports fighting and sparring, right? And so without the gloves, without the one touch rule, you still see me performing the same way, okay? And that is key. It shows you transferable. I've just straight bladed with the weapons, even though they've slowed down the weapons, and I've been dehydrated and drugged covertly. I live in the middle of nowhere. They do little bitch shit to throw me off and piss me off, and I've still performed masterfully. I've proven that I am the best, and you'll never find anyone to beat me. You'll find people who are higher ranked in their school, but remember, I started my own martial arts as part of freedom, liberating myself from Babylonian systems, including martial arts systems, and different perspectives of African culture, which are un-African. So when you think about these non-African approaches to how we should interact in race relations and so on, and what it means for society, we are suffering. Okay, we are suffering because people don't consider the truth so that other people can look good and feel good. And in the process of looking good, they make a killing, people die, people make money, so that a small group of greedy people can look good and feel good. This is not honor or morality. This is injustice. And it is injustice on the worst level. Spirituality is spiritual injustice. So when you look at the body mechanics, okay, the battle between the snake and the hawk is similar to the battle between a shorter man and a taller man. Remove the evil elements and the good just for a second and think about it in terms of pure fighting and natural warfare. The smaller man wants to kind of poison and trick the taller man more in order to get in, right? To snake him to get in, right? And the hawk is trying to avoid, right? And he's saying, I'm trying to get in there and take what, you should be able to keep me from doing, is one way to look at it. So the emphasis on the taller man must be at every range, while the emphasis on the shorter man must be at the range where he can first make contact and then get into the trapping range. What he was talking about, with judo and hapkido and aikido and these things, they like to be up in close grappling and Wing Chun and certain forms of fighting. They resemble a serpent, the snake style. Of course, you have the crane and the dragon. So these are principles that every martial artist who does Kung Fu knows very, very well. And the different branches of martial ways and martial arts may have confused people about it. But at the end of the day, yes, for the same reason I do well with the gloves and with the weapons and without the gloves. These are transferable, communicable, universal, convertible, and translatable skills. Communication for the community, light contact, light tempo. And I'm sure that, compared to some martial arts, I might seem like a goody-goody or something, but it is simply philosophy, and it even relates to astronomy, astrology, theology, social conditioning, and even the direction of humanity, reproduction. You talk about produce, right? In order to produce effectively, you need healthy produce, salad, vegetables, right? You need milk. You need certain food groups. And I believe that they're doing things in a way that makes people more celiac, to blur the line between the whites who couldn't have possibly been in Egypt because the celiac disease comes from them, right? That may have been part of the reason they left at least some of them left Egypt because they left in waves, and then individual families and individuals and clans and groups and what have you, right? And temples. So when you look at this thing, you know, we need to love each other, and we need to give people their rightful place, and it's what's going to make us all happy, as opposed to being lowly and having fun. You know, even the elite have a degree of humanism, right? There comes a time when, after they make people suffer, they feel bad. The elites are kind of like the ultimate bipolar people in many ways. There's times when they want to reward those on their side. They're feeling nice and loving. And there are times when they just want to make people suffer on some Marquis de Sade, you know, evil, back room, you know, dungeon, no one's looking, rape, abuse, torture, maim, kill, and worse. Yes, worse. So at the end of the day, think transferable skills for actual combat against the New World Order. They don't want you to think that way, because to defeat their darkness, you have to think my way. And if you want to be a cage fighter, you have to go to the gym. You know, there's almost no way around it. You know, I know some people say, well, I don't go to the gym. You know, it's like, you know, you're making a mistake. You know, you need to, you know, you can do a lot of natural workout as well if you're a cage fighter. But the emphasis has to be on, you know, strength at the end of the day, and how to balance it and maneuver it. So in many ways, the grappler needs more of an emphasis on balance. So he agrees with the short-range fighter who wants to do presentation, right? Whereas the capoeira or super long-range fighter, think of it like Dikembe Mutombo or something. His style must be different from the Taekwondo guy's style. Therefore, when you look at branches of martial arts, the supreme branch, the source and the ultimate fighting art, is for a certain type of person. Okay, someone like me who thinks deeply and fights a certain way. Okay, has a certain body type. That is the horse of all martial arts. That is the pinnacle. Okay, and then there's martial arts designed for people who are meant to complement people like me in battle. You know, the shorter body types. Think about it that way, and that's where you get Taekwondo and, you know, FMA and all these. These are for smaller. These are for those people who can't beat me at my challenge, with all due respect. You know, and this is part of history. To understand history, you have to understand why they can't beat me and the deeper implications in history. And think of it as chess, where the dark king has the material power and the light king has the spiritual power. And both of them are trying to undermine the other's ability to leverage that, to leverage their advantages. Thank you.